Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another video with me Tanmay Mehta, and this time around we have also got Harsh Merchant, who is a representative from Lenbrook group of companies, and they have got the distribution for brands like NAD, PSB, Bluesound and Bluesound Pro in the Indian market, apart from some more nice accessories brand as well. And Harsh over here has got a crazy industry experience of more than 2.5 decades. So he is going to be talking about lot of stuff. Actually, I'm going to make him talk about a lot of stuff. He's generally not available to do these kind of things, but on a very special request and on a very short note, we managed to pull this off. So first of all, Harsh, why don't we talk about the brands that you represent in the Indian market?
This is the first time I'm doing this. Thank you, Tanmay, for inviting me. We are not the distributors, but Lenbrook is the owners of the 3 brands or the 4 brands which are there. That's NAD, PSB, Bluesound and Bluesound Pro. We also distribute for India ISO acoustics, which are isolators for speakers and subwoofers and other accessories like amplifiers and all those kind of things.
Right.
Yeah, so that is what we do.
So what makes, like, out of these 4 or 5 brands that you have, I know each of the brand has got a different speciality.
Correct.
But we'll start with the first one, which is NAD.
Okay. So NAD is 50 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in fact, it will be 51 this year. So it is the brand which started everything. There's a whole history of NAD on YouTube.
Okay.
You can actually go through it, how it was started. This was started by the distributors who used to distribute Marantz and eARC speakers.
Okay.
And when Marantz was sold to the Japanese company, they forced these guys, the distributors, to buy their electronics or their speakers. And they said, nothing doing, we will make our own electronics. That's how NAD started. It is called New Acoustic Dimension, which is the name given by the German distributors.
Okay.
Okay, and from there, balances history. We have been growing. Then we come to the second brand, which is PSB. PSB stands for Paul Subarton. Paul was the guy who created PSB at the NRC, and he was a guy whose father made him a violin. And then he wanted to replicate that violin, and so he just started designing the speakers. He fell short of money and this thing, so the whole PSB brand was taken over by Lenbrook, and where Paul still works today, he's with us. PSB is also now 50 years.
Oh.
We just launched our anniversary issue, which is called the Passive 50.
Okay.
And the third brand is a baby brand, which is in-house to us, which is the Bluesound, which is the multi-room
one of the premium multi-room
systems. It is also there in our AV receivers, in our sound bars. We also lend out Bluesound
licenses to a lot of
other
brands.
companies like Dali and Monitor Audio and Roxanne.
Right. So most of the Canadian brands
Yes.
is what you guys represent.
Yes, and we also now have bought over MQA.
Okay.
Which was there with Tidal.
Yes.
We are planning to tie up with HD Tracks to launch our own streaming service.
And I mean, I know Sonos is like one of the biggest competition to Bluesound.
Yes.
And similarly for NAD, I think Arcam is probably one of the biggest competition.
So the competition was very hot for us. I mean, Sonos, of course, was far ahead when it launched. I mean,
because of the technology that they use in terms of the mobile application.
And we have got our new software, which is the 4.0, working very well for us. And now Arcam, Cambridge and NAD were the competitors.
Yeah.
As far as the AV receivers were concerned. Arcam went down. I think it's on a revival mode with Harman taking over Arcam. They are trying to push that, but I don't know how far it's going to work because now it's Korean and we don't know.
Okay, I mean the massive. If you're hinting to the Harman Group,
I'm hinting to the Harman Group because we still don't know what their policies are going to be for the long term.
Okay.
Whether they're going to go with luxury because Harman luxury. My favorite speaker still today.
Exactly.
Is the Everest or the K2.
Coming back to the same question, Arcam versus NAD. What makes this competition so special, and why do you think NAD would be always a better product?
For us, basically, NAD would be a better product is because, the technology that has gone in. We have moved from Class A to Class D.
Okay.
Okay. We are using some of the best Class D modules which are there, which is Purify, Egan on the top of a line.
But then compared to Class ABs or the Class Gs, Class H, why do you think is the need for Class D?
We were doing Class Gs 10 or 15 years back.
Exactly. And I think a lot of brands are still working on Class
Gs.
ABs and Class Gs.
Okay.
Class D is supposedly more efficient, no doubt.
Yes.
But it also does compromise on the output.
But again, what has happened is Lenbrook as a group has committed to eco-friendly stuff, which is there, and that is there in our files. And if you go back again, we have a whole history of that on this thing. So our CTO actually had committed on becoming eco-friendly. So that's why most of us
your amplification has been changed
into Class D.
Okay. But then you still feel them to be more better in terms of sound compared to Arcam?
Oh yeah.
Because I have not done a personal comparison between an Arcam versus an NAD.
If you take an M33 and if you put the volume on full without playing anything, and you will not even hear a hiss, because we have our total distortion on the M33 with Purify eGuitar is at 0.003%.
So even if you use a good quality power conditioner or a power cable for other electronics, and then compare it with the normal NADs, the NADs would sound better?
It would sound better in the sense it depends upon the room and the guy calibrating it, frankly speaking.
I know. So irrespective of what you buy, it's always based upon the magic lies in the calibration.
Magic lies in the calibration in the room and how the room reacts with the speaker and the electronics which are there.
Right.
So for me, it is electronics are more important than the speakers, as I tell all my dealers. Average speaker with a very good amplifier or electronic sounds better than buying a very fantastic speaker with an
but
average
compromising
amplifier.
On the electronics.
Now, the problem in India is most of the people can see speakers and they don't never see electronics, right? Because they're hidden away.
Absolutely. They don't even want to create a cabinet, or they don't want to give some space.
We don't have stuff like we need breathing space, we need air movements, we need 100%. Fans inside.
100%.
That creates a lot of problems. Most of the time, they will say, no, I don't have space, or the interior guy will say, I don't have space.
And when we see your electronics, I see that you put in a lot of efforts or research into the audio section. But why does NAD compromise on the video part? Like, why don't we see too many HDMI 2.1 version ports, or why don't we see eARC in your AV receivers here?
NAD has always been laid back from day one. We were the last guys to actually come with an HDMI port on our amplifiers. Even today, we don't have 8K.
Exactly, but then
we are waiting for a new 8K to come in with the 799.
But then when you see the industry having 8K receivers almost 3 years ago when they launched, and that were compatible for your PlayStation.
I would say 8K chips are not really yet matured to give you that kind of quality, nor do you have the content.
So it's not about 8K at 60 Hz, it's more about getting 4K at 120 Hz, which makes it compatible to the PlayStations or to the Apple TVs, which nowadays are recommending HDMI 2.1.
Correct.
So don't you see that that's a big gap which probably NADs
So we will fill it at our own time. We don't feel the need as of now to fill it in. And video is because NAD always believes that video processing is not enough forte. We are audio guys and we believe in audio processing. However, I must tell you, our M51 had an HDMI pass-through. Our DAC, which is close to 17 years old now. Everyone's coming with eARC and everything now, but we already had 3 HDMI in and 3 HDMI out in a 2-channel DAC. So we were far ahead of our curve.
And with eARC, I mean, do we see any eARC models coming in with the NADs anytime soon?
Yeah, we have all our models in Bluesound are with eARC.
But then why not get the same? Because at the end of the day, it's the same group.
We will get it in a new AV receivers. I'm sure about it. With the ARC
and for the ones who have been having the old ones like the T778 or the T758, do they think that they can just replace the module?
We should be able to replace the model. We are not very sure right now. But I think because of MDC.
Because your HDMI board is a
separate board. It just comes out and we put
you don't have a separate board only for output,
right?
So
we have been doing a few the old ones which were there, the 758 version ones, we have made them into Atmos. We have upgraded our 777s in some of the sites which were there, which were the regular amplifiers, just the 7.1, which we've gone them to 11.1 right now.